my name's Carl Surgeon. I'm a local chef and I work in Surly's Delicatessen and Restaurant in Spalding. Now today we're going to cook a spicy pork risole made from leftover pork and some seasonings, some spices and bits and bobs. This recipe can be downloaded from the website, so if you'd like to download the recipe and then you can get ready to cook with me. Right, the ingredients for today's recipe are around about a pound of leftover pork, roast pork that is, or any kind of cooked pork I suppose. You could also use up leftover chicken, so either or, chicken or pork. Can't use up leftover red meats, mainly the white meats. 1 red pepper, deseeded and finely sliced, 2 cloves of garlic, 60 to 80 grams of breadcrumbs, 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried chili flakes, depending on how hot you like it. You do need a bit because it gets a bit of a kick. It is a spicy pork risole. 1 large egg, 2 onions, 1 sliced and 1 diced, a teaspoon of ground coriander, 1.5 teaspoons of sweet paprika, around about half bottle of red wine, a tablespoon of tomato puree, a tablespoon of tomato ketchup, and some vegetable stock just to loosen up the sauce, which we're making later. To serve is optional, but some plain boiled rice that you might have left from another dish that you've usually overcooked, you made too much rice. You can use up some of that, so serve with some rice. Okay, right, we'll get started, we'll get ready and we'll get cooking, make these lovely little rissoles. Okay, first things first, we'll do is we'll peel the onions. Remember, take off as little as you can when you're peeling them. The more onion you take off when you're peeling, the more you're putting in the bin and back on the compost heap. That's a good thing. If you've got a compost heap, all these veg peelings, all these sort of things, keep them, put them straight on your compost heap. You can't put cooked things on your compost heap, but anything raw. So nothing gets wasted. It all goes back into the production of your vegetables for next year. Almost done. That's those 2 peeled. And they go into my little bucket for later. Take home, put in the compost heap. Garlic cloves, pop them up, peel them. Remember, if there's more than half a bottle of wine left, do feel free to pour yourself a glass and save the other half for the cooking. It always makes cooking go down well. A little bit of help from the old vino. Got those peeled. Okay. We'll just move our white out of the way for a moment, and our red wine over there. So we're going to get our pork in a minute, and we're going to chop that up in a little food blender. I mean, I've got a little one here. You can use bigger ones or smaller ones. But whatever you've got at home, just use that. Put those there. So we've got our roast pork. Take a nice chunk of that. Put that piece to one side for later. Okay, and just before you put it in the machine, you need to help the machine. So give it a little chop yourself, just to get it into smaller dice, so that the machine can then cope with the chopping. If you've only got a little machine like mine, don't pile it all in at once. Do a little bit at a time. Get the lid on and give it a good blitz. Turn the power on helps. Now you can see that, it's nice and finely minced now. And the reason we do a little bit at a time in the machine is that way it works much quicker. If I put that all in one go, the machine would struggle and you wouldn't get such nice fine dice. We've got a bowl for mixing. And then take that out, put that in there. Get the next batch of pork in. There. And there. Lid back on. And again another blitz. Okay, that's that. That's our pork all nicely minced up now. I mean, if you've got one of them old-fashioned hand mincers at home, you could use that, or a little mincer attachment. But that's the sort of product you get once you put it through there. It's a homemade rustic dish, and it's all about family home cooking, so there's a couple of big lumps of pork in there, doesn't matter. Okay, and because it's a blitz up recipe, we get a nice piece of onion. Remove the core, which is this piece here. I'm going to cut that out. Just do it at an angle so you get like a small slice there. And the least amount of onion to waste as possible. So that's one side. Get an onion, just break it up in small parts and pop that in there. One of our cloves of garlic in there as well. We'll save the others for later when we go to make our sauce to go with our rissoles. Okay, one there, and we're going to blitz that as well. Okay, so that's those blitzed up. I mean, you can sit down and chop the onions fine if you want, but as you can see, they really have chopped them up fine as how you want them. In there, get your hand in and get all the onion out. And now we'll add some of our ingredients to make our rissoles spicy. So first we've got our our teaspoon. So we've got 1 to 2 teaspoons of chopped chili flakes. I'll use just 1. Okay, 1 teaspoon of ground coriander. Sprinkle that in as well. Around about 1.5 teaspoons of the sweet paprika. Make sure it is a sweet and not the hot, otherwise you're going to have chili flakes and hot paprika. It's going to blow the roof of your head off when you eat your chips. Okay, so we've got those. And then going to add some breadcrumbs as well. Yeah, these are just to help to bind and give it some rigidity. Whole egg. And we're going to give that a nice mix in now. You can use a wooden spoon to start with, but you will have to get in there in a minute and get your hands in there and start to blend it together. Because we're getting the mixing now, but we're not getting the setting. Okay, a bit of salt and pepper. Excellent. A little bit of salt. Remember, this is roast pork, and if you've got crackling left that can quite happily go in, make sure that you check the taste of it again, because obviously the crackling you probably put salt on. We'll have enough salt in there perhaps already. So we've got thus far. So aside, just get your hand in it, really, squeeze it together. Does it set? Is it going to work? Are you going to get your rissoles out of it? Try and make a little ball, and then hold the ball in your hand and say, is it going to sit? Well, it is. So we know we've got that right. So we'll now set that in the fridge for a couple of minutes, just to chill down and get the sauce on the go, and then we'll come back and make the rissoles, and we'll fry them off with the sauce. Right, okay, so now we're going to make our sauce. We've got our pan turned on to high, get some oil cooking. From there. And then get an onion, cut through the core. Remove the core, because this time we're going to slice it rather than dicing it. So we want the core out of the way straight away. Okay, get your knife and just slice straight down. Bear in mind, I've been doing this for 30 odd years. You don't have to go this fast. Otherwise your onions turn red and it's not a nice sight. Okay, so the onions are sliced. Pan's reasonably hot already. Get the first one straight in. And while they're sweating off, we get our red pepper, cut in half. I mean, you can have this prepared already beforehand before you start frying if you wish, if you're not as fast as I am. Okay, remove your seeds. Again, they're good for the compost heap, so keep all these things for all these jobs. Slice them into fingers. Onto there. Same with this one. Slice it into little fingers. Give the onions a little toss while you're waiting. Okay. And then come across, dice the red pepper. One side. Dice the other bit of it. Okay. Remember, this is home cooking, it's not gourmet cooking, so if they're not all perfectly square, it doesn't matter, they'll taste the same. Those in, toss them about, frying them off, splash the garlic, chop the garlic away there. Add our garlic. And this is a lovely dish. Lovely, nice chunky sauce. Onions, the garlic. We do need to season the sauce, so my old friends pepper and salt again. And we've got our tomato ketchup here, which adds a little bit of sweetness to the sauce. And obviously tomatiness. And this tomato puree will add some more tomatiness to it as well. So, as I say, we've got the onions and the garlic and the peppers frying off now. Now we're going to get our ketchup, which will add a bit of sweetness. And it'll also add some nice tomato colour and flavour to the dish, along with the tomato puree. Okay, so in goes the tomato ketchup. And again, about 2 tablespoons of tomato puree. So there we go. Get a little stir around, cook around. Remember, there's a lot of sugar in that ketchup, so don't let it stir for too long, because the sugar will caramelise and it will start to catch. And you'll get the nice aroma now as well coming out. Then we get our 300 ml of red wine. Put that in. And voila. Add that. That sauce is now going to reduce and boil away. We've also got some vegetable stock we've made earlier. I'm going to add a bit of that as well. Again, if you can't make your vegetable stock, there are good bouillons on the market, so you can buy a vegetable stock cube and use that instead. Okay, and now we're just going to let that reduce right down till it becomes shiny and thick. And you've got the nice chunky bits in there, the richness and the shininess of the sauce. We'll let that bubble away now for about 10 to 15 minutes until it reduces. And now while that's happening, we'll get our pork mixture out and we'll make our little rissoles and fry them off and get them into the oven. Now, there's the pork mixture we made earlier, and it's quite crumbly at the moment. But when you give it a good squeeze, you can make your little rissoles. And it's something fun you can do with the kids as well, because it's a bit of fun. We can call them burgers, call them rissoles, if they like that sort of thing. Help mum, help dad, get joined in, it'll be a lot of fun. Also, if it's for the kids, you maybe want you to omit the chilli. It's up to you. If they like spicy food, great. If not, omit the chilli. The dish will be just as nice. Okay, so we get a little frying pan here. Put that on there. Turn it on to high. And we're going to make some little rissoles. We'll put a little bit of oil in the pan. And this pound of pork recipe should make enough for a family of 4 quite easily. So get over a little bit of your mixture. Just squeeze it together in your hand until you make a little... It's a little burger. That's it. Simple as that. And let our pan get a little bit hot. Put that there for a minute. Do a couple more. I would do 2 or 3 a person, depending. If they're little peoples, maybe 2. If it's dad like me, maybe 4. And mum, if you're on a diet, maybe 1 then. But it's lean roast pork this, so there's not too much.